Hi, I'm Dan. You can find me on Twitter at Dan Hughes 99. You may see me on the 5 Yard Rush flagship show alongside the big man Murf on Mondays or whenever you catch it. I also write for 5 Yard Dynasty, my favourite form of the game. But tonight I'm here with Mags on the Dynasty hot seat.
Yes, hello everybody. Welcome back once again to another episode of the Dynasty Hot Seat, the only Dynasty show out there that's a certified inferno. And today, we're super lucky. We got Dan Hughes over here beside me, and he's very generously given up some of his time. He sort of told you at the start there where you can find him over at 5 Yard Rush. And I have to say a personal thank you, Dan. I know you're one of the brains behind the UK, fans collective event that's happening pretty soon. So I cannot wait to get going to that and seeing some of you lovely folks.
You coming over, eh?
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, I'm not taking any credits. There's 4 of us that have put that together, and without any of either of us, it wouldn't be what it is. So we just hope the event lives up to what we hope it could be. It's been put together in a very short space of time. There's a lot gone into it. So yeah, the demand's there. It's nearly sold out as well now, which is awesome. It's above whatever we hoped for.
I can't wait to go. And I don't often do this, Dan, but I'm going to bring up something immediately. I usually leave it to the end of the show. Your buddy Murf is sitting at number 1 there.
He is
on the Hall of Flame. Are you guns blazing right away? Like, it's time, Murf. You've been there for months. You're going down, or are you respect to the big man?
Yeah, it's kind of in my eyes, a 3rd round FA Cup tie. Little minnows taking on the big guys, right? They get the audience. They show them too much respect at first, and the big teams play around them. But ultimately, the little guys will get stuck in and hope to bring the big man down. So we'll see how it plays out. The guy's got incredible knowledge that I've learned a lot from him, even more so doing the show with him in recent sort of 6-8 months. So it's been fantastic. But yeah, what he knows, I can only hope to forget. So
yeah, and of course, the dream would be get both of you guys on there, right? You get 2 5-yard guys on there. That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome. And then we can really lord it over the college guys and the Dynasty guys and all the rest of them, right? We'll have the flagship show sitting at the top of the pile.
1, 2, yeah. And you don't mind this. So yeah, if you're looking to do that, get over to the YouTube channel and give this a thumbs up, and let's see if we can get Dan onto that leaderboard. And
please do.
Dan, we're gonna get right into now. We're gonna go into section number 1, which is the art of war. It's just your hints and tips for people playing Dynasty out there. So what do you got for us?
So my first one would be to understand your league and your league opponents, first of all. So we've seen in recent times we've gone from sort of the 1 QB redraft leagues into a Superflex. Superflex probably now the most popular format, I'd say, for Dynasty. So it's about understanding there's a lot of quirky scoring rules out there as well. People are trying to make each individual league a little bit different. 2 tight ends, tight end premiums, points for first down now being introduced. Have a look at where you can get the advantage over the others. Find that one scoring tweak that somebody may not have picked up on, and see if you can use it. Also, the guys in your league, whether it be actual creators of content, podcasters, writers, even just find their Twitter account. They would have put on there at one stage who they like, who they didn't like, the fact that trades happen and they think it's good for him. Just try and get an understanding of who's there, what they do, what they're interested in, and just trying to find that little point difference you can have.
Yeah, I really like that advice. And I know Lewis Wood, who's been on the show before. He even keeps a journal. He's got a fact file on everyone, and he knows what their traits are, and he can go click into that and see who likes what. I mean, that is
I might get him to bring that to UKFFC and see what notes he's got on all of us. Then, right? That could be an interesting hours reading for us all.
Yeah, we could play match the person, right? See if you can match up the notes to the person. Yeah,
who am I talking about now? Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
That'd be fun. So that's a great game.
Yeah, let's get on both. I'd happily play that. I love that as tip number 1. And you got a few more tips for us, Dan.
Yeah. So second of all is don't overvalue rookie picks for me. I'm not big on rookie picks. I've recently done a startup where kickers are in place as placeholders for rookies coming up in the draft. I didn't take any. I absolutely didn't. Because, yes, there is some amazing value in rookie picks. We all saw Jamar Chase last year, Justin Jefferson the year before, and so on. How many Jalen Ragers are there for every Justin Jefferson? For me,
one.
Yeah, I would
one,
take
right?
a known quantity in a draft over an unknown quantity in a draft. People now are looking at Breece Hall. Breece Hall's 101 consensus, I guess, in dynasty drafts and rookie drafts this year.
Yeah.
He's in a shared backfield, and we don't actually know what his role will be.
Yeah.
You know, and how much usage he's going to get, and ultimately whether he can actually cut it at an NFL level. Now, the talent, I suspect he will, but I don't know. People will get so hung up on trading at first. It's a first round. I can't trade my first round pick. No. Go and do it. This year off season, I've been trading first round picks for people's situations improving. Michael Pittman is a case in point. Mid first round, late first round, I'll take Michael Pittman all day long. Standard, safe, floor with a lot of upside to him, and his situation's improved. I'll take that over somebody that could be Jalen Reagor. Why would you not?
Yeah, Michael Pittman's one for me as well, actually, Dan. Like, I'm seeing some of these, like, you know, like Chris Olave is going ahead sometimes even of Michael Pittman. I'm just like, oh, I could never do it. I could just never do it.
No, I mean, I like Chris Olave. I think Chris Olave potentially for this year could be the highest scoring wide receiver out of the draft because I don't think Michael Thomas plays a lot. He's a big outside wide receiver. He's got Jameis Winston who, well, when he gets pressured, he's just going to throw the ball up in the air and see what happens. It fits Chris Olave's game. I think he could benefit from that. Yeah. But no, again, I would take the known quantity over the unknown quantity every day of the week. Yeah,
I like it. I like it a lot. And then you got a third tip for us as well, Dan.
Yeah. Most important, and I think a lot of people forget this in Dynasty, is try and win. We're ultimately here to. Okay, we're here to have fun. We're here to get to know people. It's a great social thing, and I've met so many fantastic people in the industry and in leagues and across and doing. I'm grateful enough to do what I do here. But we all play it to try and win, and I think sometimes we forget that. And it's great building a roster and 6 first-round picks next year, 2 of which will be any good. The rest of them won't be. And it's great having all these young guys, Michael Carter's and so on. All their situations have just changed instantly.
Yeah.
Take a Derrick Henry. He's going to be good. You're going to compete. You're going to try and win. I think a lot of people look at trying to build the picture-perfect dynasty roster.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Play to win. And yes, when it all goes to hell, figure it out at that stage.
Yeah.
Do you know, stop selling players at their peak. And that's a weird one because, you know, a lot of people just try and improve value and then sell again for more value. I'm a salesman for a living, so that should come natural to me. But it doesn't. He's a valuable asset. Keep the value, get the points on the board, win the championship. If you have to keep him till he goes, guess what? You get more rookie picks next year. Somebody else has got to fill his shoes. Go and waiver that guy when he gets in there. Go and find him. Go and trade next year's first for the guy that's filling Derrick Henry's shoes when he retires.
Yeah.
And keep the common game. You can keep topping up as opposed to rebuilding. I guess I'm more of a retooler.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I like that as well. And you're trying to win ships, not trades, right? It's all about, you know, getting the end result there. It's not about getting like an extra second round pick. It's about, you know, getting somebody who's going to win you the championship. And so picks are
you
for
said
summer.
Winning trades there. I think winning trades is a big thing I've seen recently for some reason. A lot of people feel they need to get the most from the trade. It doesn't bother me in terms of what the consensus opinion feels. If I'm fancy a guy, I'll value it myself. And if I'm prepared to give that up for it, I'll do it. And I get it right and I get it wrong. It happens. How many trades have we all done 5-6 years ago that you thought were great and they turned out to be dreadful? Selling Austin Eckler a couple of years ago was one of them for pennies. But it happens. These things go around and it's all for fun at the end of the day. But I guarantee you'll hit as many as you miss. I don't feel people need to win trades. Just pay what you're happy to pay. And please ignore trade calculators. For the love of God.
Oh, one of my peeves, like getting a screenshot of a calculator after you've set. It's like, oh, mate, no, I don't need your 5 extra bits, so I have to cut 3 of them.
6 bench pieces are equal to 1 stud. No, they're not. I can't play all 6 of them this week. And if I do play all 6 of them, I've got to take 5 studs out of my roster in the first place to fill him in. So,
exactly.
It's trading in fantasy. Fantasy itself is a non-tangible product. You cannot quantify a value on somebody. It doesn't work for me. It's all about gut and instinct, and we're going to do a draft shortly, I guess, and even that is who you fancy, where you fancy, and what your gut instinct is in that. So don't need to win a trade. Trust your gut. Pick your guys.
Yeah.
You get it wrong, you get it wrong. You've always got more picks next year. You can do it again.
Yeah, love it. Absolutely amazing. And that is excellent his tips there from Dan. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put him in the hot seat for the real meat of the show, and he's going to show us how it's done in a startup mock draft. So let's pull up Sleeper there, and that worked perfectly. So Dan, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you is sort of similar to everyone else in the show. If it was an absolutely ideal world, and this is a 12-team, 18-round Superflex startup, in an absolutely ideal world, what position would you take if you got to choose, and why would you pick that?
I like being maybe not the ends, but near the ends. I like to have fun in some drafts, especially Dynasty, because it doesn't matter if you doesn't work. There's next year to change it, is what I'm sort of saying, retool it and go again. So I've been known in tight end premium leagues to sit at 11 and 12 and draft back-to-back tight ends when nobody else is even looking at them and things, and just try and have some fun with it. Again, it's about just doing the same repetitive thing and taking who they expect you to take just feeds into other people's hands. I think sometimes it's worth trying to do something different, throw people off their game, something they didn't expect. What's he doing down there? I don't know. Well, that guy will make it back to me. Well, you don't know that now because I'm not doing what you expect me to do. So you reach for a guy and I'll pick up the value later on. So I don't know. I don't mind the ends. I guess if I had to pick one spot, I'd probably take the 2 spot this year in particular. I like, especially as a super flex setup. There's 5, maybe 6 QBs of value at the start that I feel you need to get one in and lock in. So I'd like to be in that early range to secure one of them.
Nice. So you thinking pick number 2 then?
If you're happy, I'll take pick 2, sir. Yes, please.
Yeah, let's get pick number 2 locked in, and we'll start the draft, and we'll see. I'm sure Josh Allen seems to be going off the board. Oh, we did. Ooh. Justin Herbert went number 1. That's a very nice
pick for me, isn't it? So, I sat at 2 here, and I wanted Herbert or Allen. I presumed Allen would have gone. It isn't that way. So, thank you very much. I'm laughing all the way to the bank, and I'll take Josh Allen. It's not a hard decision.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't cross your mind at all?
Again, I'm looking to win this year, and I'm worried about his receiver core this year. Kelsey's probably got, 3 years in him. So after that, I don't know how they retool in Kansas. So at the minute, I think one quarterback is a bit more settled, and that would be Josh Allen. The other reason it would be Herbert if Allen had got off the board is I think that roster's building rather than in the unknown area. Yeah, so I'd have took Herbert at that stage. So, but no, here Allen's fallen to 2. I'll be taking Josh Allen.
Yeah, I love it. Let's get Josh Allen. And as you'd expect, Mahomes does go off the board. And Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan, what do you think about Jonathan Taylor going, that early in Superflex? Are you like get my quarterback guy, or are you just like I'll take Taylor?
In Dynasty and redraft, I do it differently. So in redraft, I'm a very heavy running back early guy. Dynasty, no, I wanted one of them top 5 QBs. I am now not too fussed on QBs. I'm happy to ride the tide, if you will, on that one. And find some value elsewhere. Jonathan Taylor, no, he's not my 101 in redraft this year. Purely because I don't think he'd have been the number 1 running back if all of them was healthy last year. I think CMC, I think Henry would have been there. So I understand his age and his injury. His less injuries to those 2 guys is why he's the consensus top running back off the board. But for me, no, I wouldn't be taking him there with the likes of Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson still on the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where are we at?
We're back on the board now at the back end of round number 2.
I have to lean in. So sorry, you guys, if I'm.
Oh, no worries. I must see if I can find a way to make that bigger. I don't think I can.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I can get it. So I'm going to look wide receiver here. And my plan of taking running back has slightly gone because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 have come off the board already, which surprised me a little. I'm not big on AJ Brown after his move. I'd have had him ranked a lot higher beforehand. So I'd take Devontae Adams in this spot. And in theory and hoping I've potentially got a wide receiver 1 and a QB1 locked
Yeah.
up. Both of those could finish as the fantasy wide receiver 1 and QB1 this year, and I've got them
Yeah.
both, and both are going to be
absolutely.
good for 3 years. So I'm not worried about it.
Nice. So let's get Devontae Adams locked in. Seems like he's going to be very, very safe again. This year with Derek Carr, he's just proven himself now. I think to a point where no one's really got doubts about Derek Carr anymore, right?
No, and if he'd have moved and he didn't have that prior relationship with Carr and that prior friendship that they have through their colleges, I think there may have been a bit more uncertainty and doubt. But the fact that they do have that rapport already built, I can't see Devontae Adams getting much less targets than he did in Green Bay. And he's a good enough player still to ride it. So
yeah, I completely agree. And we're quickly back on the board again.
We are.
I've got wide receivers still on. Are you want to have a look at everybody again, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, show me everybody again. Let's have a little look. I've got that locked up. Let's see where I can find some value here. So
Jalen Hurts is sitting up there. Yeah.
Yes, I don't mind Jalen Hurts, and so I didn't really want to take a quarterback here, but top running back there is Breece Hall. Again, I don't like the spot he's landed in. He'll be good. I just don't know. I can't trust that situation at the Jets right now. I don't quite know how that's going to pay out.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook is never going to stay healthy for a year, although he's got great numbers. So, and the wide receivers on the board, Jalen Waddle's now suddenly become the wide receiver 2 on his own team.
Yeah. Stephon Diggs is there. You could get that stack with Josh Allen.
I could do, but then if that doesn't work and they do have down seasons, that's a big hit. I've lost 2 big plays in one go. So
yeah,
being a super flex, I'm going to adjust from what I would initially normally do, and I will pick up Jalen Hurts. Young enough for me. He's got the rushing floor. He has got a better wide receiver core. Though I said I didn't like it for AJ Brown's situation. I do like it for Jalen Hurts' situation. So he should be a QB1. He won't be the fantasy QB1, but he'll be a QB1 on my roster, and I've got him sat in my super flex spot.
Yeah, you got that. I think top of the third round. That's pretty good value for Jalen Hurts, considering he was for a large stretch of last season. He was QB1, overall for a couple of weeks running, which is really good.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's not more QBs gone. I mean, we've seen a couple here, but we're still looking at 1, 2, 3 teams without a QB off the board. Yeah,
that is an interesting tactic, and I imagine it will fill those positions up soon enough. But luckily, we don't have to worry about that now. You got your 2 really strong quarterbacks there, and you got some more there, which you could be tempted to do. You could be tempted just to take Fields or Aaron Rodgers. Antonio Gibson's up there, a bit too rich for me at 4'11". I don't know what you think.
Agreed. I don't mind Gibson, but he's failed to deliver a couple of years now. He's had a couple of niggling injuries. QB now, no, I'm not particularly fussed. And I guess there's an argument here where you could take almost double QB at this situation and lock down the position and really punish those teams, which I've done before. There's 4 there. They're going to be able to pick up guys still. You're going to have to cover. I don't know. You see Superflex drafts where people just draft every QB because they are the value play. I understand that. Yep. You're just so dependent on everyone else buying them off you that you can't win. I said at the start, you need to win championships. What we do this for. If you draft 8 QBs, you've got a ton of value, but you're not going to win anything. And yes, you may trade with them, but you're as desperate to trade them as they are to trade from you. And it's who gives first, I guess. They don't need to trade from you because you can't win the championship. If they've managed to bag themselves 2, other than bye weeks, they're going to have a shot at winning the championship. You can't.
Yeah.
So
you can't start Hurts at wide receiver, right? You got to play one or the other, right?
Correct. Yeah. So there is little point in having Hurts, Allen, and then sticking Fields and Rodgers on a bench. I don't get that, even though they are the value play here. So again, I was looking for a decent running back to come back, and Henry, Kamara, Barkley, Chubb, Dobbins has all gone off the board. So it's very, very more running back heavy than I first anticipated. So
the running backs you do have there, Kenneth Walker is there, David Montgomery and Aaron Jones, and then Jacobs and Leonard Fournette, but they'll probably fall back too, I would imagine. So I'm quite happy to zig when people zag, I guess. I say more running backs have gone than I thought. So that does mean to me is there's wide receiver value somewhere here. Yeah. So I'm amazed. Johnson, London has gone off the board. Oh, has he? Yeah.
Yeah. 4-5.
Yeah. And there's the same example we talked about at the start of the show. Michael Pittman Jr. is still there, and Drake London has gone off the board.
Drake London's got a fantastic opportunity. He's walked into Atlanta where he's going to get 150 targets. He will, because there is nobody else to get 150 targets.
Yeah.
What he delivers with them, we don't know. What his QB situation, we don't know. And actually, whether he catches them is any good once he's got the ball in his hands. At the minute, we don't know. So, Deontay Johnson, PPR league, was wide receiver 8 last year. Yes, he's had a change of QB. I don't think that's going to hurt him much. If anything, the QB can throw the ball further and hopefully better than Ben could stand in still. So
yeah, he's got a better QB. He's got a better quarterback.
Correct. I'd take John A. Johnson here as good value as my wide receiver 2 on my roster.
Yeah, I think he'll just continue, I think, to have that same role. The only thing I would be maybe worried about Johnson is the Steelers are sort of known for like turning over those wide receivers, getting them out the door. And, if he goes to another team, I don't know when his contract is up, either next year or the year after, what he would look like there. But you're right. We're here to win championships, and he's someone who can win you a championship next year at the Steelers for sure.
Yeah, John A. Johnson, I don't think I'm worried about. Chase Claypool, for me, is a different story. They brought in Pickett. I think Pickett's going to be almost Pickens. I think he's going to be almost a replacement for Claypool, and I'd be very concerned holding Chase Claypool right now. I think you need him to have a couple of decent early weeks, first half of the season, so you can kind of do something with him, because I don't think long-term he's going to be their answer. Especially
he said he's top 3 in the league. You see that?
He's barely top 3 on the Steelers, so yeah, I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. But they throw me out now. See, 2 more running backs have come off the board in Walker and Gibson. So
yeah,
I know people go in with a plan, and my plan is always to try and find value. And I say I tend to draft running back heavy. At this stage now, I can't. If this had been the other way, and I'd expect people to attack wide receiver early, I'd be looking to pick up, I don't know, a Mixon, a Dobbins, a Chubb over those last sort of 2-3 picks that we've got.
Yeah.
But they haven't, so fine. Yeah. We've got a 3 wide receiver roster plus a couple of flexes, so I'll fill the flexes with wide receivers instead of running backs at this stage. So my main guy this year is Michael Pittman. I drafted him a lot in rookies last year. He did okay. He was sound. His situation's got better quarterback, wide receiver 1 on the roster. And I've backed that up this year. I've drafted a lot of Alec Pierce rookie drafts as well. So I think he's got a route to being successful, and I like the guy. So, yeah, Michael Pittman for me right here. And what was he, wide receiver 14, I think, last year in PPR?
Yeah, I think you're quite right with that, yeah. So he's got a chance. I think he'll step up into that wide receiver 1, sneaky shot for that, right?
But I've now got potentially the fantasy QB1, the fantasy wide receiver 1. I've got what is a QB1 in Jalen Hurts. I've got a top 10 wide receiver in Deontay Johnson. I've got a guy that finished 14 and should only get better.
Yeah.
I'll take Michael Pittman.
Yeah, great start there. And even though like the running backs hasn't panned out, you're right. It's good to zig when other people are zagging. And
there's no point in panicking now. Yeah. You panic now, you're behind the curve. So I'll just pick up what's left.
Exactly. Like David Montgomery was the next running back there. So like I think you're taking Michael Pittman over David Montgomery every time, right?
Yeah, I would. I don't mind David Montgomery, to be honest with you, but his longevity is going to worry me now. I did hope Zeke or Aaron Jones made it back. That hasn't been the case. Who we got on the board? Leonard Fournette, James Conner. What are they? What's all players? Can we have a look at all the players left?
Yeah, of course. Let's have a look at everyone.
Let's have a look at some ADP.
Leonard Fournette is at the top. Keenan Allen's still there. James Conner's still there. And then Chris Olave, who we just briefly talked about, still there, as well as Hollywood Brown, who could have a good year coming up this year.
Yeah, he could. He's gone to Arizona on Kyler's wishes, I believe. You've got no D-Hop for, I think it's 6 games. Yeah. He's got potential there. I don't see Rondale Moore causing him too many problems in terms of quality that he's got. So Zach Ertz is a good player, I think, at the Cardinals this year. But no, I think I'm going to have to go running back now just to get a solid one on the board. Doesn't inspire me long term, even being a Bucs fan, but Leonard Fournette this year is a traditional bell cow back at the Bucs in the setup he's got. He's got such little competition for the position in either the rushing or the passing game. He's a sound pass blocker. He's a red zone threat. So I'd take Leonard Fournette here and lock up a sound back.
Love it. And, Leonard Fournette's pass blocking at the moment is like, he's as big as an offensive lineman at the minute. His pass blocking is going to be off the charts right now, right?
Which is crazy because the Bucs aren't known for their pass blocking running backs for a long time. So But I guess you bring Tom Brady to town, you need it. I mean, he finished running back 6 last year. And if anything, Ronald Jones is gone, so his situation's improved.
Yeah,
so
I think, completely agree. I think Leonard
worse.
Fournette is great value there at the back end of the 6th round as well. And are you thinking now, I need to get another running back locked in so you can at least start 2, or are you still just like, I'll take the value where I can get it at this stage?
Yeah, I'm still torn right now. Running backs, we got James Conner. I love James Conner this year. I think the Cards, he's done so well last year, and I think a lot of it was schemed specifically for him. And that hasn't changed. If anything, losing D-Hop, okay, brought in Hollywood Brown, but his situation hasn't changed. Everything's improved. I love James Conner. They're still going to run that same scheme. Elijah Mitchell, I'm not sold on any of the 49ers backfield. Who else is there? AJ Dillon. I actually like Dillon. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's going to be in for a good year. I think Aaron Jones is going to pick up a lot of back work. But no, I'm looking at value. But wide receiver, the top wide receiver, there's Keenan Allen. Doesn't inspire me a lot. No, I'm kind of in that grey zone right now. What do I want to do? Where do I work it? I spoke about winning now and taking the value, and I'm going to pull the trigger really, really early for me on a QB3. And sat just there is Tom Brady. It's going to be a 1-year play. I said about winning championships. I don't want to reach for one of the other guys. I'll see what comes around. There's a couple at each position I'll be happy with. I'll take Tom Brady, and I'll have 3 top 10 wide receivers this year on my roster.
Nice. Yeah, I did see Tom Brady there as well, and I thought, I think I would take Tom Brady if I were you there.
Which is what I would do. If I hadn't took Hurts, that was a given, Tom Brady in that slot.
Yeah.
But at the time of taking Hurts, I could have gone Mixon, I guess. But it is what it is. I'm okay with that there.
When you're trying to win a championship, every win counts as well to get into those playoffs. And even get that bye week as well. And if you got Tom Brady, whenever Hurts isn't playing, or whenever, Josh Allen isn't playing, you can start Tom Brady. Like, that's amazing. And that's going to help you win those games.
I think for safe floor, you'll be playing Tom Brady this year. But what you need to worry about, looking 2-3 years in advance, I haven't got to worry about it. If I sell my first round rookie picks, next year is great, isn't it? For all these young CJ Stroud and all these young QBs coming through. I don't need to worry about it. I've got 2 locked up that are going nowhere. I'll use my first round pick, and I'll pick up one of them running backs that I've missed early on in the draft. And that will help me out next year. So those guys that need a QB and have gambled on a Zach Wilson or a Kenny Pickett that hasn't quite worked out, have my pick. Go get yourself a new QB. But guess what? I want one of your studs off you instead for it. So as I say, I'm happy to trade my first out here. So
nice.
Love
that. I was going to say we're back on the board. Back end of the 8th round. I think the only position we haven't taken is tight end. Are you thinking now we'll just punt tight end, or
I punt tight end all day, every day, every draft? Unless it's a tight end premium big league.
Yeah.
Unless there's some sort of quirky scoring in there, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If I was sat in this draft and if I was sat at 6 or 7 and Kelsey made it back in the second round, he's probably the only one I really want right now. Mark Andrews had a phenomenal year last year, but if you look at his breakdown, his best games come under Tyler Huntley, not Lamar Jackson.
That's interesting. I did not know that.
I can't see Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is not going to have the year he had last year. I don't think it's viable. Mm-hmm. Kittle can't stay healthy. Darren Waller's now got Devontae Adams in town, so can't see that working. Kyle Pitts is a fair call. We spoke about Drake London and how he's going to get the targets. Pitts is exactly the same. Didn't have the touchdowns last year, only 1. He's got to get better. I appreciate that. But I can't pay the value for Kyle Pitts. I don't know where he went in this draft, but
he's going first round a lot.
Yeah.
No, he went in the second round here, but I've seen him go in the first round a lot in non-tight end premium as well. Yeah, because he's the name and the focus point, I guess. But I can't do that there. I've took a top wide receiver, probably the top wide receiver. I'm happy doing that. So Adams will outscore Pitts throughout the season, without any doubt. Absolutely. So I'll have the points on the board. What are we going to do now then? Right. I do think I need to shore up at running back on this pick because we're going to get thin otherwise. Yeah, the cliff's coming at running back pretty soon. It is. In fact, I think Kareem Hunt, post-Kareem Hunt is the cliff there. Really. It is. Yeah. Although Singletary's sneaky. Singletary, I don't mind Singletary, yeah. But we've seen now, look, if you look at the board, look how many wide receivers have gone off on that up and back. Yeah.
So I've took the wide receiver early. Okay, I've punted the running backs, but you're more likely to lose a running back and be able to pick one up on the waivers. The situation at running back is more likely to change than it is a wide receiver. So I'll take what I can buy to get by, and I'll aggressively play the waivers come the early weeks. Or as we get into a later draft, I don't know how deep this is and how deep the leagues are, pick up running backs. Just pick up handcuff, second, third backs, because the situations change. If you're the third running back on a roster, you're more likely to see meaningful fantasy points and situations than you are being a third wide receiver on a roster. So
absolutely,
don't take third wide receivers, punt the running backs, and you'll find value there. So in this instance, didn't have a great year last year, but he's still a lead back on his roster. He's got a better offense. He can only get better for me. I'm happy taking Miles Sanders. Didn't score a touchdown. That cannot happen again.
That is crazy.
In Philadelphia.
Yeah, like he's going to have a better year than he did last year. Obviously, question marks about, staying healthy for Miles Sanders, but he keeps getting these weird injuries as well. It's like, oh, that's an odd thing to happen to someone. Like he had a weird thing with his finger, right? It's like, how did that happen? So he gets these weird injuries.
But they're freak injuries. I can understand. Freak injuries don't worry me. It's pulling a hamstring, doing an ACL, tearing in an ankle that happens in sports related. I think is more likely to impact ongoing performance. The odd freak injuries, they are just that. They are freak injuries. So
I thought he was a bit unlucky last year, actually, if anything. So I think hopefully his luck will change, and we'll get him locked into our team, and we'll see who's left for us now. And we're hoping for Damien Harris to come back. I was
hoping for Damien Harris to come back to me. Yeah. Because that would have been a solid third running back on the roster.
Yeah.
It isn't to be. Now I'm in a real quandary as to whether I take Kareem Hunt or whether I go elsewhere again, because there's probably 5 or 6 running backs there that I don't fancy. Hunt's probably the only one for a while.
Do you
want to look at wide receivers? Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Let's have a look. So Cortland's still there.
That's it. Cortland Sutton's on the board.
That's shocking, right?
I got lucky last year and I plumped a lot of Deebo Samuel. I love the guy. I love the player. He was. Did I see him having the year he had last year? No, not a chance in hell. Did I think he would be a decent fantasy asset? Yes. I think he was a better receiver than Brandon Ayuk. So I got a lot of him. I believe the same situation with Cortland Sutton. I am not personally a fan of Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy's performance and figures haven't lit up the NFL whatsoever. And we talked about the rookies and can they do it on the big stage? Jerry Jeudy hasn't for me whatsoever. And people that are picking him are still talking about the separation he got in college and how good he was a route runner. And yes, he's got a better QB. Yeah, he has. But he's had 2 years of a fair QB. Wide receivers have performed with poor QBs.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy hasn't. So, but Cortland Sutton did when he was fit a year and a half ago. So Cortland Sutton should be the wide receiver one on that team. So I'll lock him into my 4th wide receiver. Yeah,
let's get Cortland Sutton locked in. And I'm actually I'm just trying to see where Jerry Jeudy, he might not have gone, but I think he has.
He has, 3 rounds earlier.
Yeah, there, look at that. Wow.
Nearly 4 rounds earlier. And me and Murf speak and redraft a lot about taking the second guy. If there's 2 guys and you're not sure or you're torn and whether the offense is split. Last year it was Lockett and Metcalf. Very similar fantasy points. Take the second guy. Don't get the value elsewhere. When the second one comes down, take the second guy. Yeah,
absolutely. So let's get Cortland Sutton locked in with absolutely tremendous value there in the 9th round. And Juju Smith-Schuster went right after him there. Pretty sneaky value there as well. In the 9th round. Like he's a guy who has produced in the NFL and he's about to play with Patrick Mahomes. So that's
he's on a 1-year contract though. So do the Chiefs, are they really invested behind him? I don't know quite yet.
It's more of a prove it deal, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And we're quickly back on the board again now. Round number 10, back end of it. I'll show you all.
Please do.
Jameis Winston setting up there. We got quarterback kind of sort. Isaiah Spiller. Christian Kirk obviously just went and got paid over there at Jacksonville. And then, a couple of other guys. It's, interesting looking. So anyone standing out or any position you want to see?
I was going to punt out, and Zach Ertz hasn't quite made it back. I'd have liked Zach Ertz to like his situation. The other one I'm all in on this year, and he's young enough to still be a decent dynasty asset for me, is Cole Kmet. The Bears haven't improved their receiver room. They brought in Velus Jones, the oldest rookie to ever come out.
Yeah.
Cole Kmet, again, like Miles Sanders, didn't have a touchdown last year. I can't see that happening again.
Yeah.
He can only get better. And at this stage on tight ends, any one of these guys going in these rounds could easily be a top 8 tight end. I like Cole Kmet. I like the situation. I wouldn't normally go here now, but I'm not liking nothing else on the board at this stage, so I'll take Cole Kmet.
Yeah, I like that, Cole Kmet. I think, again, somehow didn't end up on any tight ends. Obviously, the Bears were, awful. So you're thinking they're going to be a little bit better, hopefully, this year, and Cole Kmet can catch a few touchdowns. And, the difference between tight end, 4 and tight end 12 is, 2 touchdowns, maybe? So, yeah, if you can get those two, he can shoot right up.
Point or two a week. So I'll take the value elsewhere, and I'll just lose 2 points on my tight end. It's not a problem at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're back on the board again. And same sort of players there. And Devin Singletary, we talked about earlier, he is sneaking at the bottom there. Yep. But you want to see any position, or are you going?
No, Singletary is where I'm going. I know they drafted in James Cook. Singletary last year, I think, was behind Zach Moss at the start of the year. He won that role for himself. He delivered when they needed him to. Yes, they brought in James Cook. I can't see him switching from Singletary to Cook instantly. I think he's still going to have a part to play. I think they're going to build James Cook and look after him a little bit for longer term. I'll win now. I've punted running back. So, yeah, I'll take Singletary because for me, he's a starting back in the league.
Yeah, Singletary, he's a weird one because I've been burned by Devin Singletary like a lot of people have. But I think, why would the Bills take him out of the team when he's finally doing what they drafted him to do well? He's finally playing well. Why would they take him out of the team now? Yeah,
makes sense. It's the one area of the game that they're not renowned for. Yet he did the job they needed him to do. So trust him, let him do it.
Yeah, completely agree. And we're back on here. And full disclosure here, Sleeper has a bit of an issue. I don't know if you know how to fix it. That's a few people no one seems to know. These quarterbacks kind of stay here, right? And I don't know why, but Sleeper they don't take them until round 17, and then they all go. I don't think these guys, well, maybe not all of them will be here. Probably not Jameis, right? But yeah, just full disclosure, I think it's more of a Sleeper thing here of an issue. I don't know how to fix it.
For their ADP falls.
Because their ADP there is 113, and the next player is 147. I don't know why it happens, but that's just what's happening on Sleeper at the moment.
I guess it's the way the Sleeper algorithms built their own rosters and how they feel, I guess. I mean, Winston's not a bad play. Who else is there? Malik Willis, not for me this year or next year. Yeah. Desmond Ridder, if I was going to take any of them, would probably be the rookie QB I'm looking at. I think that the rushing upside he offers, and I think he may not start the year, but at some stage this year, the Falcons are going to have to use him to know what they've got. I think the Falcons are going to be a bad team this year. But they're going to have to know what they've got going into next year's draft. So at some stage, you're going to see whether he's reliable or not. So
yeah, completely agree. And some of the skill players here, you got Rondell Moore, you got Melvin Gordon, who's there. Calvin Ridley's an interesting one as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. He's on a ban this year. I mean, I'm thinking Calvin Ridley because I have locked up such good wide receivers early. And if he comes back and delivers anywhere near what he can, I mean, look at other receivers on the board. Alan Lazard, Rondell Moore.
Yeah. He's
a class above those. Can you afford to carry him for a year? I think on this roster that I've built, I probably could afford to carry him for a year. I'm certainly not in need of him or in need of a player at this stage that's going to become flexible. I think I've kind of got enough cover with a starting wide receiver in Cortland Sutton to play in the flex. I've got Singletary there, who for me is going to have a fair workload to play in the flex. So now I'm about upside. And I guess sometimes you look at there who can step up and deliver and who can get their way to the field. Calvin Ridley's not going to do that. But when Calvin Ridley comes back, he's going to be a wide receiver one for somebody. I don't actually believe it will be the Falcons, which may actually help him.
So I think it will.
I'm not against taking Calvin Ridley here, and I may well do that, to be honest with you. Yeah. Why not?
Nice. Yeah, let's get Calvin Ridley locked in. And
I don't think you've had anybody else on that's took a player that's not playing, have you yet?
I think everyone's stayed well away from both Ridley and Deshaun Watson. People have sort of shied away from.
He'll come back. And what happens when he comes back next year is he gets traded to, I want to talk this year, the Jets. The Jets have hopefully had a reasonable season this year. all that hype, all that media flux, all that thing. Great, I'll take someone else I need off you, or I'll take a pick off you, and I'll combine a couple of picks and go and get someone else elsewhere because I don't need Ridley in my lineup right now. Or if one of the guys is a bust this year, Calvin Ridley slots straight back in. I'll hold him and see where we're at.
Yeah, I think it's a great value there, and people, it's Dynasty. Like Calvin Ridley, what age is Calvin Ridley? 28,
24, 25.
Yeah, he's not. Is even not young. Like he's not going to retire next year, right? He's still got enough, tread on the tires, and who knows? Maybe a year off might actually do.
He's 27. It's 4 years in the game, so he's he's got 6 years in him. I'm going to lose one of them.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I think no brainer there, and we're back on the board now, and in round number 13, and this is where it starts to get a bit ugly. I think usually in a draft, right? Round number 13, and it's now kind of like you mentioned earlier. It's like I'm just going to get my guy here. I'm just going to go get my guy, right? So is anyone standing out to you there? Are you wanting to see any position?
No, I did hope Melvin Gordon would have come back because that would have been, especially short term, a sound backup running back for me. He's in a shared backfield last year. He will be in a shared backfield this year. I don't get the hype of drafting Javonte Williams. Where did he go? Probably second round, if not first.
Javonte Williams. Yeah. What,
first
the 10th
round.
pick. And look how far you have to scroll down to get to the guy who's going to play just as much.
Who's going to have the exact same performance. If you look at their last year, their performance was identical. And okay, it's Dynasty draft. It's not going to be the way in a year's time, 2 years' time, 3 years' time. I get it. But we've seen people like most up-move teams this year who should potentially be a lead back. Aaron Jones potentially be a free agent. We've seen these guys move and be it. So somebody somewhere will pick up Singletary next year, whether it be for a year or two contract. He will have a role somewhere to play. And if I'm not dependent on him...
We've seen Melvin Gordon move and do well, right? Literally the same player.
And where he is, he's my running back 4 potentially would have been. You're not dependent on him performing. You take the chance and the upside. So I did hope he made it back. He hasn't. I'm now looking and you're right. I'm not liking what I'm looking at. Rondale Moore, Hunter Henry, Zamir White, Jalen Tolbert. Have a little scroll. Who else we got further
Let's
down
see.
here?
We'll go down. Njoku, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jacoby Myers, Russell Gage.
Right. Russell Gage. Oh, hold on. I've got
Tyler Boyd there as well. Was that who you were?
No.
Or DJ?
I'm going DJ Shark. I'm a huge fan of DJ Shark.
Okay.
And I think he's gone to the Lions. I think he becomes their wide receiver 1. I'm not sold on Amon-Ra St. Brown, who did very well when he stepped in and performed. But throughout the rest of the season, he wasn't there to step in. He wasn't needed. And I think they brought in DJ Shark, a big outside receiver. They drafted, obviously, Jameson Williams, who for me was probably the best wide receiver in the class coming into the draft, and it's the injury that caused him to fall. I'm not sold on Amon-Ra St. Brown. And again, it's like value. Don't take the first guy, take the second guy, especially in an unknown environment. And that's exactly what that is. Actually, here, no, I'm going to take Russell Gage in this spot and hope that because of the ADP, DJ Shark comes all the way back round to me.
Nice.
Gage, Godwin's out for a bit. Gronk has retired shortly before we came on air. Slot receiver role is wide open in Tampa Bay. He's going to get a year of Brady, and then we'll see. But they've paid him $30 million for 3 years. He is not there to play a bit part role.
Yeah, I like that. Russell
and I'm winning now.
Sneaky pick. Yeah. So let's get Russell Gage locked in. Yeah, I think he's.
When you look at who's above him, like Wan'Dale Robinson and that above him.
Yeah, and again, you don't know anything about him, right? Wan'Dale Robinson wasn't really high in anyone's rookie charts before the draft. Then he got drafted in New York. People were like, "Oh, maybe he might have a chance." And it's like we're talking to too many maybes. Oh no!
I've been done. DJ Shark has gone to pick before it arrived back to me, so that didn't quite pay off. But I'm okay.
Close, so close. And
cry after we leave here.
So unfortunately, DJ Shark does not quite make it back to us. But there's still, a couple of guys on here of interest. With, you got some Kansas City receivers here, McCole Hardman, MVS, Khalil Shakir coming out of Buffalo as well. And is there any position you're wanting to see in particular here? Jarvis Landry's a sneaky one. I was thinking this ADP as well.
Yeah, I like Jarvis Landry there. As I say, I don't think Thomas plays a lot. I've seen that for Olave doing well. Winston's not great at throwing to the slot under pressure, but Landry's a talent, and he'll do okay. And where are we now? 14th round?
Yep.
Jarvis Landry's a flex play on every roster he's on this year for me.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get him in the 14th round, that's sound. So if I go wide receiver, it will be Landry. Let's have a look at running backs, because I am feeling incredibly light at running back right now.
Yeah, so you've got Hassan Haskins, Kyron Williams, Gus Edwards still there, more of a known name, Pierre Strong, Tyler Beatty or Beatty, I don't know how you meant to pronounce that.
It's not pretty, is it?
Yeah, Jamal Williams looked all right last year for a bit, and then obviously Swift took over a little bit, and then you got Jetty McKissick, and if you're feeling really, really spicy, Trey Sermon's there.
I don't mind Trey Sermon there. I think he'll still have a role because of the backfield they're in. They drafted him ahead of Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell kind of won the role, but I just have to question whether I want any of that backfield, to be honest with you. But again, take the value. I'd take Trey Sermon over where Elijah Mitchell's going right now and hope for the best. But no, I'm going to have to come back to one of these guys soon. I may here take Gus Edwards. Upside.
Yeah, I think
he was injured. Dobbins was injured. Who gets back fit? Who gets back healthy? I don't know. He's going to have a role in the offense if he comes back healthy. So, yeah, I'll take Gus Edwards here, please.
Yeah, I like Gus Edwards there.
I'm just looking who I missed out on. Naheem Hines and Marlon Mack. I'd probably have took both of them ahead of Gus Edwards, and they went just before DJ Shark, ironically.
As well. Kenny Gainwell might have been nice as well, just before.
Maybe I need to move my pick from 2 down to 3 or 4 and just put these guys in my wheelhouse, right? So I'm just behind the curve here. But I've got Josh Allen at 2, so I'm not unhappy.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta love that. We're quickly back on the board again. I'm staying at quarterback back right here, unless you want to have a look at who's available elsewhere.
I'm going to flip back and take Jarvis Landry.
Nice. Let's do that.
Pretty comfortable bet there. I mean, he's going behind LaVisca Chenault. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, that's bizarre, isn't it? Right? That's just very, very strange. LaVisca Chenault, who knows what he's going to do next year. Jarvis Landry's certainly going to do more than LaVisca Chenault, right?
You'd sure hope so, yeah. You would sure hope so.
Yeah, and now we're getting some. Yeah, we're getting a tail end. Mostert was a guy there I thought might fall back to, would have been good.
Yeah, Snoop Connor I quite like this year as well. We talk about options, and at this stage, I'm looking for guys that can make the field and have viable opportunities. We've just found out Robinson's probably not going to come back early in the season. And Etienne's coming off his own injury, and we don't quite know where he's been. There is a realistic opportunity. Snoop Connor could lead that backfield week 1, or at least be RB2 on that field in week 1. So I wouldn't have minded him coming back. See, we've just 10 running backs off the board in a row, 14 in the last round since my last pick.
No, heads up, round 17. There are all these quarterbacks. They're all going to go, because this is what the sleeper algorithm does. So they're all going to disappear.
You've done this before, haven't you, Max?
Yeah, I've done these a few times now. Yeah, so they're all going to disappear. In case you're wanting a last shot at a quarterback, this is your last chance. And Jameis Winston's there. He wouldn't be right in the startup round. He wouldn't be there.
I'm not taking a quarterback here. I'm looking for guys that can be value. I'm looking to win.
Yeah.
And as I say, I've got picks for next year in a dynasty, so I'll use them when Brady retires if I have to, and if not, I'll keep them and I'll draft someone and hope. But no, I'd probably try and package something together here down the line. When Ridley comes back, I can use him and a pick to pick up a decent starting wide receiver QB if I needed to. So. I was hoping to go running back with this pick. The amount that's come off the board means I'm probably not gonna, because I'm trying to find value elsewhere, and that's a huge hit to have. So what wide receivers do we have set up here?
Let's have a look. OBJ is sitting at the top, obviously free agent at the minute, but will sign somewhere, you'd imagine. Then Van Jefferson, Tim Patrick, KJ Osborne.
Two stick out to me on here. Tim Patrick, I don't mind.
Yep.
Stepped up last year with injuries in Denver. And we yet to have Russ throw to any of these wide receivers. We yet to see who he builds a rapport with. All the talk last year was about Robert Woods in LA. And it was Cooper Kupp that built that rapport with Matt Stafford early on. And it changed. So if Russell goes into training camp and Tim Patrick's his guy and he builds that rapport and trust on him, there's a reason Tim Patrick could feasibly have a decent role. I'm going to shoot upside, though, as opposed to that, and take a guy for me who was just behind Pittman in where he was and probably where he is now. But a guy I'm a big fan of and hoping for big things is Nico Collins.
Mm-hmm.
We saw late in the year last year, he got his first touchdown around about game week 14, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was quite late in the year, but I think he's a good player. I think he's got a good tandem with Brandon Cooks. I think he's learning the game the right way from somebody like Brandon Cooks.
Yes.
Who's a sound pro.
Mm-hmm.
Set offense. Davis Mills is back. So I'm almost taking Collins in the hope that he'll be in Pittman's position next year. Either they'd have progressed as a team and Davis Mills can do the role, or they'll find somebody else that can do the role. Cooks may well move on. I think it's his last year on the contract, and then they may rely on Collins. So I'll take Nico Collins.
Yeah, I like me some Nico Collins as well. You can see he's got a little star next to him there as well, so I can prove that I do like him. So yeah, I like Nico Collins, especially at this sort of late stage as well. And right, this is I forgot we're in the middle of the quarterback run, so we got another pick before all these quarterbacks disappear. And anyone on there you've seen, or you want to look at the running backs?
Show us the running backs, although I don't think there's going to be a lot left. I think there's me and you probably listed about this ADP now at running backs.
Yeah, so up at the top you got me, and then Dearness Johnson underneath. Ty Chandler there as well. Ty Chandler, someone I like sort of pre-draft, but yeah, tough situation there in Minnesota.
It's not pretty, is it? It's really not pretty. The guy on the board there, I do like his situation. His ADP is rising, and he's a rookie, so it's a real upside pick, and not one I'm used to doing. But Abraham Smith, Jerome Ford, I like, but Abraham Smith.
Yep.
I don't think I'm going to draft him before you do it. Don't hit that button yet.
I'm not clicking
mouse off that button.
Let's move it over there.
if I'm doing it, that's a last round pick and a flyer. And I mean, what we're doing, 18 rounds. It's not a super deep league. But if I'm in a deep league and we've got taxi rosters and that's set up, here's someone I would look to pick up. Purely on the basis that if Kamara doesn't play, Melvin Gordon's not there. He's got a route to be in the RB2 on that roster week 1 if Kamara's suspended. And he is incredibly cheap right now in drafts. Similar basis, I will probably take the running back that was top of that pile.
Mm-hmm. Me?
Dearness Johnson. Yeah, it was you, right? Yeah. Dearness Johnson at Cleveland Browns. Nick Chubb's solid workhorse. There's a lot of doubt around the quarterback of Deshaun Watson. The news changing daily on that. But I think
20 cases settled today from what I read.
Yeah, but the NFL have come out and said it doesn't affect their processing. I think even if you settle them all, there'd still be a ban. I think the line is there's no smoke without fire type principle. I think if that does happen, I think the Browns may chuck it in. I think Kareem Hunt becomes a huge cut risk, absolutely huge cut risk of not being there. So Dearness Johnson has the upside. He's been in the league. They've used him. He's had a role in every game they've played. And he could become the RB2 if Watson goes. So I'm going to punt Dearness Johnson here. Yeah,
Dearness Johnson was, hugely valuable last year whenever those injuries hit and the Browns.
Neither Hunt or Chubb are reliable for being healthy, right? Year round. So
and someone taking Gronk. They must have heard the news. Johnson. Yeah, Johnson's a good player as well, right? He looked great when he was playing, and if Hunt does end up getting cut, or someone might even pick up Johnson. I don't know how many years he's got in his contract, but he can go somewhere else where he doesn't have Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt in front of him and play really well. He's a good player.
Entering his 4th year, so it's probably last year of his rookie deal. So he could become a free agent and go from there. So, what we got last round?
Our final pick. All those quarterbacks disappeared, just like I thought they might. And I'll show you
value in that last round there, though. Van Jefferson's gone. Curtis Samuel was a 10-12 round pick last year before his injuries, and he was going 18. Josh Palmer's another guy that I've got in that bracket with Nico Collins and just behind Michael Pittman. I like him out of Tennessee. I don't think Mike Williams can. Okay, I expected Mike Williams to leave this offseason and Josh Palmer to step into that role. They have re-signed him. I think they've re-signed him because they're looking to actually compete and win this year. If not, I think Williams goes and Palmer long-term fills that role. So I wouldn't have minded Josh Palmer as a flyer there. But
Yeah,
Last
that's
pick. I've
been
only got
really
one.
interesting, right? With that division, I say with the Chargers, like what a division that is. Like, look
Yeah.
at those 4 teams, and it's just. I mean, I'm a Chiefs fan, so I'm not too pleased
Okay.
about it. But like, what I'm gonna watch some amazing games next year, right? It's gonna be fantastic.
Well, there was this bit where earlier, I think the Chargers went out and picked up a couple of defensive players early, and then the Chiefs are always the Chiefs, and you anticipate they're going to compete. And Denver went out and signed Russell Wilson, and it was like, well, do the Raiders just blow it up? Do the Raiders stop and just give up because they can't compete? And they went, no, let's go and get the best wide receiver in the business.
Yeah.
Let's have a go ourselves here, right? And a rumor today is that Sue and Ndamukong Suh may be going to the Raiders from Tampa.
Wow.
He put on his Instagram, I believe, Las Vegas, that sounds fun, or Raiders, that sounds fun, or something like that. So I can't see him staying in Tampa. So that would be an interesting pickup for him.
Yeah, great division. So anyway, sorry, slight tangent there, but we're on our last pick of the draft here. Round number 18, pick number 11. What are you thinking?
I've only got one tight end. Do I need cover for him? No, there's enough guys to waiver at tight end that are going to be viable.
Yeah,
one of my favourite tight ends this year that I have got everywhere is Gerald Everett. I love his situation at the Chargers. I think he could be one of the prime candidates to break into that top 10 of tight ends. Having said that, if he doesn't, there's plenty of other guys there that I can waiver at some stage during the year to find. So I'm looking for value. I'm looking for upside. I'm probably going to have to go back to wide receiver again because there are no running backs left in the universe to make a pick from. At all.
Who's a wide receiver? Devontae Parker, Romeo Doubs, the oldest rookie ever, Velus Jones, who we talked about earlier, and there's a couple of Corey Davis all the way down there. Well, Corey Davis was another like Curtis Samuel, right? He was sort of the hot news last year, right? Corey Davis going around the same area as Curtis Samuel. He's dropped all the way down.
Yeah, well, that'd be both of them in the 18th round. I mean, Corey Davis, wide receiver 72 last year. How many games did he play? Didn't play many, I don't think, did he? He missed a few.
Yeah.
So, but he was solid when he played 9 games. But he was solid. I mean, again, I guess they brought in Garrett Wilson, so you'd think it's going to affect his role somewhat.
Yeah.
But it's like Brandon Cooks. It's a tried, tested, steady hand. His floor's going to be okay. I'm not shooting for upside. Give us a little scroll. Who we got just out of review here?
So Calvin Austin was there. Jamison Crowder over at Buffalo there. Interesting pick. Will Fuller, who knows where he's going to end up. Brian Edwards, now at Atlanta. Yeah, it's sort of shoot for the stars a little bit, right?
Yeah, it is, but give us a little scroll up again. Who did I miss?
Sorry, scroll up.
Okay. I'm torn on 2 here. I've got...
All right.
Jamison Crowder, you mentioned, I think fills that Cole Beasley role. I'm not a fan of Gabriel Davis, and I think quality for quality, Jamison Crowder is probably an all-round better receiver. And if the Bills are competing and challenging as you'd expect them to, I think Crowder could be in for a fair, flexible type year in certain weeks. So I'm torn on, do I take him? And even if I use him as a package deal to trade, I'm short of running backs. If I use him and something to trade and try and find something here, give him a couple of weeks, let him find his feet, have a couple of big weeks, and then I'd be looking to move him for something else. Or do I shoot the real upside? And the real upside player I'm looking at here is Calvin Austin. Cowboys moved on from Amari Cooper. He's gone. Michael Gallup's not going to start the season. So CeeDee Lamb is a huge talent, but they're only real recognizable talent sat at wide receiver at the minute. So Calvin Austin should see some snaps. He should see the field longer term.
I'm gonna break your heart a little bit here. Calvin Austin, not on the Cowboys.
Where is he? Who have I got wrong then?
He's at the Steelers.
Of course he is. I think of Jalen Tolbert.
I don't know if Jalen Tolbert's still there. I'll search for him. Let's see. Is that not how you spell Tolbert?
Jalen Tolbert, Tolbert. I don't think he'll be there. Should be gone.
I'm not seeing Jalen Tolbert.
No, he'll be gone.
Yeah, TOL, is it? TOR?
TOL, yeah, he'll be gone. That's upset me. Well, that's made my mind up easier, though.
Yep, that's true. So you were torn between the two, right? You were torn between him and Crowder, so you're thinking Crowder.
I've got Austin, Texas in my mind, and that's what's thrown me out. See, so.
Oh, that yeah, I can see.
Oh
I'm just
no!
scrolling through
Stop!
the case.
I found my guy. My guy that's going to be Michael Pittman of next year. Up a little bit,
Who's
up a
that?
little bit, up a little bit, up a little bit. Where did he go? There he is. Kyle Phillips in Tennessee.
Do you know what? There's a couple of people have said that now about Cal Phillips, that they're thinking he's going to be, pretty special, pretty good. So
It's just a
that's
whole
interesting.
new
Yeah.
passing offense there.
Yeah.
Tannehill's there, but they've got 2 new wide receivers in Burks after they moved on AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Robert Woods has come in. He's coming back from injury. And it's, as we said earlier, it's about, with Tim Patrick, who do they build that rapport with early and who gets that trust?
Yep.
Well, you'd expect Woods is probably going to be a little bit behind the curve because of the injury and maybe not able to do as much as he'd perhaps want. Carl Phillips has got a chance there to show it. And yes, coming out of college, his talent level compared to Traylon Burks wasn't comparable, which is why they were drafted where they were.
Yeah.
But what's to say when he puts them pads on and that Titans jersey that he actually can't deliver on the big stage?
Yep.
So,
I really like that as
I'll take Carl Phillips.
Nice. Yeah, I really like that as a last pick. And, because so many people have been telling me in the show about Cal Phillips. So I've just gone and actually managed to pick Cal Phillips off the waiver wire in a few leagues. So go check for Cal Phillips if you're listening, because, yeah, it's definitely worth a punt.
He's one of those, his ADP is just going to rise, especially around this sort of media time when his training videos come out. And the QB's throwing to an open receiver 10 yards away that's got no one covering him. Yeah. Again, we could do that, I'm sure, to some extent. I can catch a ball. It's not difficult.
Yeah. We were drafted before Dearness Johnson in this draft, so that's we could definitely do it. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely love that team overall. So let's have a little look and see how it all shapes up, Dan, shall we? So we got Josh Allen. Can't do better than that. Josh Allen, the quarterback. Running backs. Now we're a bit worried about running back, but that looks pretty good to me. Leonard Fournette and Miles Sanders, not bad.
It's sustainable.
All, right?
It's sustainable. Yeah.
And then the wide receivers, you gotta love this, right? Devonta Adams, Deontay Johnson, Michael Pittman Jr. in at your wide receiver slots there.
And Cortland Sutton be flex as well, yeah.
Cortland Sutton in the flex, Cole Kmet at tight end, Devin Singletary in a flex, and Jalen Hurts probably will be Tom Brady, right? Sitting there at the super flex for
I'd
next
say so.
year
It's
anyway.
certainly a higher floor for next year, yeah.
Yeah, great. And then you got Calvin Ridley to slot back in next year with Russell Gage, Gus Edwards, Jarvis Landry, Nico Collins, Dearness Johnson, and then Kyle Phillips. How are you feeling about that team, Dan?
I really like it. I feel like at running back, I feel I've got enough to get me through 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, perhaps. With the guys, I think if an injury to Sanders, Fournette, Singletary can kind of fill that role. But no, I'd be looking for an injury to a big name to go down, or a youngster to step up and fit a role we didn't expect him to have. Someone who's available on the waivers or something, somewhere there.
Yeah.
To get in there in that roster early, attack it early, get him in. If not, I'd be looking for, as I say, a young guy, a Jarvis Landry to have a couple of big weeks. Someone I don't need sat back there. Even a Russell Gage. I'm big on Russell Gage this year. I think he'll do really well. Long term, there are questions with the QB situation. So great, I have 3, 4 good weeks. If I need a running back, I'll try and shift them. I'll add a pick to it and pick up a sustainable back to fill the void.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And something you mentioned during the draft as well, you've got picks that you can use to get that running back in as well and move away from different people. And I like that you mentioned that waiver. Every year there's a waiver wire wonder every year. Last year there was 2. There was Elijah Mitchell and it was Cordell Patterson. You got both those guys. And how many people won a championship with Cordell Patterson on the team last year, right? Just loads.
I was starting championship games with Dario Gumbawali at running back, mate.
Yeah. So
because that's the way the field went, right? So yeah, I didn't win many of them championships, by the way, but but I had championship games with Dario Gumbawali on the Jaguars starting a running back because that's the way it went. So when that happens, pick those guys up, fill that void, and you'll get by. If you want to have one position you do need to play the waiver wire for, it's going to be the running back. You're not going to find QBs viable because even backups will be drafted. Wide receivers are so deep. As I say, even to be a wide receiver 3 or 4 on a roster to become valuable isn't going to happen without a catastrophe somewhere. And we saw a bit of it during COVID, but in a general year, you wouldn't. Running back's the one position where those waiver guys can become fantasy viable options. So if I'm going to punt anywhere and and hope for something to happen, it'll be a running back.
Yeah, I completely agree, and that's why I really like the look of that team. It's got all those long-term players locked in and ready to go, and yeah, we could figure out running back more as it goes. So Dan, just wanted to say, just thank you so much for coming onto the show and
thank you,
sharing
sir,
all
for
those
having
hints and tips. Oh, mate, not a problem at all. And let's talk about one more time. We got the Hall of Flame. Can Dan get above his good friend Murf? Let's see if we can get this video a thumbs up.
He wouldn't live it down, I'll tell you if I did.
Yeah, it would be it might be a divorce coming after that if he ends up coming up. But let's see how far we can get, Dan. Let's get thumbs up on the video on YouTube. And Dan, could you just want to remind everyone where they can find you online before you leave us?
Yeah, so on Twitter is at Dan Hughes 99. Some of my articles are going out under the 5-yard Dynasty banner, and obviously host a 5-yard flagship show. And for anybody coming, July 16th, I'll see you at UKFFC. I believe we're almost at single-digit tickets remaining.
Wow.
Which is a phenomenal effort, yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah, absolutely cannot wait for that. And yeah, hopefully see a lot of you guys listening there. So
it's going to be fun, right?
Dan, yeah, can't wait, mate. So I'll see you there. And just for now, even though the hot seat is cooling down a little bit, I'm just reminding everyone at home who's listening, keep yourselves and your teams lit. Until next time, see you later.